We are breaking open a massive, highly guarded entertainment scandal that has completely exposed the dark, manipulative underbelly of the mainstream music industry and ignited a massive firestorm across global social media platforms. For the past several years, one of the most iconic, chart-topping female vocalists in the world has been actively hidden in the shadows, her face intentionally erased from album covers, music videos, and promotional materials by powerful network executives. Hollywood meticulously crafted a massive lie, utilizing her breathtaking powerhouse vocals to build the multi-million-dollar careers of highly marketable, lip-syncing pop models, while forcing the true artist to remain a nameless, faceless ghost singer bound by predatory non-disclosure agreements. The corporate music machine believed they could keep her silenced forever, using her generational talent as a disposable tool to manufacture artificial superstars for the commercial market. But earlier tonight, in a completely unprecedented and highly dangerous act of television rebellion, she completely shattered the illusion. Stepping directly onto the illuminated stage of a live, nationally televised broadcast event, she hijacked the microphone and did the one thing her record label explicitly forbade her from doing. She revealed her face to the world and delivered an unedited, show-stopping vocal performance that instantly proved she was the real voice behind the biggest hits of the decade. The explosive broadcast footage has already triggered a massive wave of digital engagement, racking up millions of views and sending shockwaves through executive boardrooms from Los Angeles to New York. Right now, we are conducting a deep dive investigation into this incredible television moment, breaking down exactly how a hidden ghost singer risked her entire livelihood to expose Hollywood's dirtiest secret on live television. This is the definitive story of the ultimate live broadcast rebellion that the industry tried to prevent but simply could not stop. To truly understand the absolute gravity of this live television rebellion, one must first examine the harsh, highly toxic reality of the modern pop music manufacturing process. For decades, the Hollywood entertainment machine has been entirely obsessed with a highly specific, heavily sanitized visual aesthetic, frequently prioritizing supermodel appearances over genuine musical talent. When executives discover a vocalist with extraordinary generational talent who does not perfectly fit their rigid visual standards, they routinely deploy a predatory industry practice known as ghost singing. They force these brilliant vocalists into signing ironclad, highly restrictive contracts that permanently strip them of their public identity and creative credit.
Their flawless vocal tracks are then secretly assigned to visually marketable actors or dancers who simply lip-sync the lyrics in high-budget music videos and live stadium tours. For years, this incredible artist was forced to sit in complete silence while another woman accepted prestigious industry awards, graced magazine covers, and generated millions of dollars in corporate sponsorships using her stolen voice. The psychological toll of hearing your own deeply personal vocals playing on global radio stations while being legally forbidden from claiming them is an unimaginably cruel reality that destroys many young artists. She was constantly threatened by high-powered entertainment lawyers, repeatedly told that if she ever attempted to step into the public spotlight, they would completely bankrupt her and destroy any chance she had at a musical career. However, the suffocating pressure of living a manufactured lie eventually pushed her to the absolute breaking point, setting the stage for a spectacular, unscripted confrontation on national television. The execution of her live television reveal was a masterclass in high-stakes, unscripted broadcast infiltration that completely caught network producers off guard. The event took place during a massive primetime music showcase, originally designed to feature the lip-syncing pop star performing the latest global hit.
As the heavy instrumental backing track began to echo through the massive arena, the designated pop star took her mark, preparing to deliver her standard choreographed routine. But in a sudden, completely unscripted deviation from the heavily rehearsed production schedule, the true vocalist emerged from the backstage shadows, completely bypassing the panicked security personnel. Dressed not in the heavily stylized, manufactured wardrobe forced upon industry pop stars, but in simple, authentic street clothes, she marched directly to the center of the illuminated stage. Television floor directors frantically screamed into their headsets, desperately begging the control room to cut the live satellite feed and transition to a commercial break. But the sheer shock and confusion of the moment paralyzed the production crew for just a few critical seconds, providing her with the exact window of opportunity she desperately needed. Grabbing a live microphone from a backing instrumentalist, she signaled for the live band to cut the artificial backing track and play the raw, acoustic arrangement. In that tense, heart-stopping television moment, the glossy facade of the Hollywood pop machine was completely stripped away, leaving millions of viewers staring at an unknown woman standing fiercely under the blinding spotlight. What followed was one of the most breathtaking, undeniable displays of pure vocal dominance ever broadcast on live network television.
Without the safety net of studio pitch correction or heavy electronic synthesizers, she unleashed a vocal performance that absolutely shattered the acoustics of the massive soundstage. She delivered the world-famous lyrics with a level of raw emotional intensity, breathtaking dynamic control, and pitch-perfect precision that immediately sent shockwaves through the live studio audience. Within the first 10 seconds of her vocal delivery, the absolute truth became undeniably clear to everyone watching in the arena and in millions of living rooms across the nation. This was the exact, undeniable voice that had been dominating the global streaming charts for years. The lip-syncing pop star who had previously claimed the song quickly retreated into the backstage shadows, completely exposed and humiliated on live national television. Sound engineers who were monitoring the live audio feed reported that her unedited vocal resonance was actually far superior to the highly compressed, heavily edited studio versions that the record label had been aggressively promoting. She hit soaring, incredibly complex high notes that completely defied human limitation, pouring years of accumulated frustration, betrayal, and buried artistic passion into every single phrase.
The live studio audience, initially confused by the sudden stage invasion, rapidly transitioned into a state of absolute awe, eventually erupting into a deafening, prolonged standing ovation before the final chord even finished echoing through the arena. In a span of just 3 minutes, she had effectively demolished a multi-million-dollar corporate lie using nothing but the sheer, undeniable power of her own voice. The immediate fallout from this explosive live television broadcast created a level of corporate panic rarely seen in the modern entertainment industry. Within minutes of the unscripted performance concluding, the internet completely exploded as millions of dedicated fans instantly mobilized across social media to demand absolute justice for the hidden vocalist. High-profile entertainment lawyers and frantic record label executives immediately convened emergency strategy meetings, desperately attempting to initiate a massive digital cover-up and silence the rapidly spreading news story. However, the sheer velocity of the viral moment proved entirely impossible to contain, as unedited clips of the broadcast were shared, analyzed, and celebrated by millions of users across the globe. Prominent music critics and respected investigative journalists aggressively turned their attention to the major record label, demanding transparency and launching widespread investigations into the predatory nature of ghost singing contracts.
The intense, unrelenting public pressure forced the corporate executives into a deeply humiliating retreat, rendering their threats of legal retaliation completely powerless against the tidal wave of global public support. The major brands and corporate sponsors who had blindly funded the lip-syncing pop star immediately began pulling their multi-million-dollar endorsement deals, entirely unwilling to be associated with such a massive, deceptive industry scandal. The corporate executives who had confidently built an empire on a foundation of lies were completely outmaneuvered by a single, fearless artist who simply refused to be hidden any longer. As the dust finally begins to settle on this historic broadcast disruption, the long-term cultural implications are actively reshaping the entire landscape of the global music industry. The artist whose face was hidden for years has now successfully reclaimed her absolute rightful place at the top of the entertainment hierarchy, operating entirely under her own real name and holding complete creative control over her career. Her newly released independent studio recordings are currently shattering international streaming records, completely untethered from the toxic restrictions of the corporate pop machine.
More importantly, her fearless television rebellion has ignited a massive, industry-wide movement for artistic transparency, empowering countless other hidden ghost singers and session vocalists to step forward and aggressively demand the credit they so rightfully deserve. Major record labels are being forced to radically restructure their business models, realizing that the modern digital audience values raw, human authenticity far more than heavily manufactured, superficial visual aesthetics. She did not merely expose a single Hollywood lie. She completely dismantled an abusive, decades-old industry standard, proving that genuine talent can never be permanently buried by corporate greed. For more breaking entertainment updates, investigative deep dives, and viral news reporting, keep your dials locked right here as we continue to closely track this legendary superstar's incredible, history-making journey. The Hollywood machine tried to erase her face, but she ensured that the entire world would never forget her voice.